In this video, I wanted to talk about my point of view towards life, that it's easy compared to what so many big philosophers and spiritual teachers have taught us. They say that life is struggle, that life is suffering, etc., and that we have to spend our time in the best way possible that we could. But to my understanding, life is easy, life is filled with happiness and experiences and no struggle. Naturally, it has no struggle. Naturally, life is not suffering. Naturally, life has no meaning to it. Because when we add meaning to something, there is expectations from that meaning, and then when we have expectations, there is hurt and there is struggle, there is suffering, etc. So, to my understanding, those you know big names, those philosophers and spiritual teachers termed society life as struggling and suffering on the basis of society. Like, why should we accept this statement as the only truth? Why do we not question that? If those philosophers and spiritual gurus have told us that life is suffering, that we should accept it and we should do the best to be happy. But what if we remove this idea of society from life? What if they would have had not considered giving this statement about life, that life is suffering and struggle? What if they have not considered this, giving this statement, relating it to the society? They do not mention that the involvement of society is the reason of suffering and struggle in life. So, what if we, eradicate the idea of society in our lives? In that case, what suffering could it bring to our lives? And why exactly is it that we face struggle? What is the role of society in our personal suffering? And how has this societal influence has shaped our subconscious into constantly suffering? One moment. Sorry, I had my alarm. So, what is their influence in our personal suffering that goes on here? Let's take few examples. Why do people struggle and suffer? First of all, people struggle to have a financially stable life. So, they struggle to make a living when people are poor. That this is one thing. So what if the concept of industrialization would not have been put in? What if the concept of uh, earning money would not be in the place at first? And what if we would not have been expecting ourselves to earn this much amount of money so that we can live without struggle and without suffering, so that the people outside in the society would not judge us that we are poor, etc.? Did we actually need to earn money whereas we already had all the possible resources in the capacity of nature. And what is the influence of society in this case? That why did we end up with the want to earn money? Because first, society created the need to own things, own properties, own families, own cattle, etc. And societies taught us that these are necessary things. And at a particular time, after thousands of years, we made it mandatory. So right now, people cannot live without, being a part of the society. They have to be, because the entire civilization, the entire society has not, left another choice, so that we could live close to nature, and we can live from away from the society. We can try our best to detach as much possible as we can, but we cannot fully detach from the society's expectations. Or we can detach from the society's expectation, but we cannot detach from the ways of society. Like, earning money and not being financially sound is one of the greatest sufferings of humanity possible. When children die, when people die in masses. But there is a reason behind it, why we do that. Because in the first place, there was no need to reproduce in such a huge amount of population, that we had to fight for resources. And society is the reason that it encouraged us, the entire humanity, in order to reproduce and to capture lands, to capture cattle, and to have families, etc. It has a moral foundation behind it, and if people did not have that standard matched in their lives, they would feel guilty, and that is suffering. Guilt is suffering. So society made the entire concept of suffering, and then the biggest philosophical gurus and the spiritual leaders said it like that it is suffering. It is not suffering, but the suffering has been created. Naturally, it is not suffering. Now we say that, leave the concept of money. Let's talk about love. If somebody that we love leaves us, or if they die, that brings suffering. But can anything be permanent? Can that suffering be permanent? But we have accepted that suffering to be permanent in our lives, and to play emotional. Dying and being left by people who love is a natural thing. But this emotion of feeling absolutely painful when someone leaves us or someone dies close to us is also a societal mindset. It has been taught to us that we should feel more emotional. It has been romanticized by the society. It has been romanticized by artists. It has been romanticized by stories, through mythical stories and through literature, etc. Because whatever is marketed to us, we start believing in it, that it is the real truth. We believe right now that if the society that we are living in right now, the resources that we have created, the technology that we have created, we feel right now that it is absolutely necessary, whereas it was not 100 years ago. And so, to feel the need of putting yourself through suffering and emotional pain when somebody close to you dies or somebody close to you leaves you, I cannot deny the fact that it is a little painful. It is painful because even all sorts of animals on the planet do feel pain when somebody close to them dies, but they do not carry it as a suffering in their lives till they die. Humans do. Humans carry their sufferings for longer period of time because it gives them a sense of belonging. And this sense of belonging also comes from the teaching of society. Society is not a small structure. It has seeped into our brains through every possible way, through religious books, through priests, through philosophers, through artists. Like whatever source we look around, this even this idea of accepting suffering for a longer period of time has been put into our brains. And so we romanticize suffering, whereas it is not natural. Feeling pain is natural, mental and physical and psychological, etc. as well. Even animals go depressed for some time if they lose their loved ones. But it is not a romanticized. It is not that they think that life is suffering. Like the idea of suffering is so marketed. It has a story to it. It has a crisp background to it. All animals go through certain amount of suffering in their lives, but their idea of feeling it to a certain level is also natural. It is not social. They do not run on the expectations of the society, or even the teachings of the society. Like how we look at relationships today, our expectation of relationships is influenced by what we look on the television, what we watch on television, in the films, what we read in the books, etc. But do we ever question that, is it natural? Is this much suffering natural? If getting married is natural, if breaking up is not natural, like it all is natural. Getting away from people is natural because we are free human beings. It is the society that has created the concept of marriage. And so another reason of suffering is romantic relationships. People who are in romantic relationships, they expect to get married and end up eventually together. And if they are not able to get that thing in their lives, they are again traumatized by that. Because society has taught us to limit our minds to one person, to 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 seek ownership in relationships. And if we are not able to do that, we feel suffering. So society has taught us to feel sad and broken and suffered if we are not able to achieve a social dream, if we are not able to achieve a career dream. People suicide, people kill themselves if they are not able to achieve a specific goal in their lives which they have committed themselves for. Is it natural, or is it a learning from the society? The expectations of society put us through pain and suffering. And so this statement that life in general is suffering, it is a false statement to my understanding. But do we have the courage to think, to rationalize, to have some logic behind it and look at what exactly is natural? And do we have the courage to find this nature in our lives, and to say no to the expectations or the teachings of the society, of these religious gurus, of these philosophical leaders, etc.? Do we have the courage to accept that achieving a huge goal or cracking an ambition is not natural, and feeling sad if we are not able to do something in our lives is not natural? So life in general is not suffering. It is not. It is filled with so much beauty around us. Life is suffering for animals because we have put them into suffering. We farm them, we extract dairy, we extract meat out of them. We put them also into suffering, because it is the nature of human beings in the society that we just normalize suffering, and then we call it that it is suffering. No, it is not. It is our doing with our own life and other people's life. It is the entire structure that makes life so much suffering. But I will never be able to accept the fact that life is suffering. It is not. It is all nature. We do not have to romanticize the term suffering in life, because whatever we go through is nature, and we should accept that. Feeling sad is nature, dying is nature, leaving relationships is natural, and getting away from people is natural, and not wanting to have a huge dream is natural, failing in your life is natural. Everything is natural. Then what is suffering? Suffering is just an idea, a market idea, so that they can sell you things, so that they can sell you relationships. Even families, bring so much benefits to the entire capitalistic system. If people would not have families, a perfect family, or the so-called perfect families, because families are not perfect, it is an illusion of having a perfect family. Every member in every family is traumatized with some or other reason. But what looks perfect from outside is what the capitalistic system wants, so that they can sell you diapers, so that they can sell you bigger bed, so that they can sell you bigger houses, so that they can sell you identity, so that they can sell you respect, so that they can sell you lands, property, investments, health insurances, life insurances. Everything has a reason behind it. The system cannot tell us that we are pushing you to make families so that we can sell you insurances or whatever I just mentioned. If they be transparent, they become transparent with you, you would not choose families. So they sell all that product to you by emotions. They tell you what could be the importance of having a good family, that it is a respectful work in the society, and that you will be able to make your family happy, your children happy, if you have this amount of big land, and that if you that they will be safe if you buy any insurance in your name, and that if you die and if any health thing comes up, you will get this insurance. So we are making our lives difficult. It is not at all. Life is not a suffering. If only we sit with this idea. What exactly is suffering? Out of the social structure, what exactly is suffering? Can we think about that? If we eradicate the idea of society from here, from our personal brain, and decide to leave everything that society has created for us, which was not natural, if we decide to leave all of that, then I guarantee you to find suffering in life. Emotions taught, ambitions are taught. To feel sad when something is broken is a taught idea. Society has taught us. And by society, I mean the entire structure. It includes religion, it includes politics, it includes moral foundation, it includes your priests, your friends. Everything around us is society. And if we have the courage to leave the idea of society at all, then I guarantee you, I bet you find suffering in life. If we can, disappointment is suffering. So whatever we had in expectations from us, from life, through what they have taught us, and if we do not achieve it, it brings disappointment, and disappointment is the biggest reason of suffering. So what if we stop being disappointed? So what if we stop expecting anything? Because nothing is natural. Suffering stops. It's not natural. It forever suffering is not natural. It is not. As far as we are attached with the society, and society puts us through pain, then only it is suffering. For me, it doesn't exist. And uh, pain for some time, and hurt for some time, sadness for some time, and stress for some time is not suffering. It is a natural phase of life. When we do not have water we feel thirsty. So thirst is not suffering, is a natural phase of life. When we get water, it will pass away. Everything passes away. With time, everything passes away. But we are so romanticizing the idea of keeping things with us, keeping the sadness with us, in us. It is romanticized. It is. Nationalism, religion, patriotism, castes, colors, idea of certain beauty, idea of aesthetic fitness, idea of showing off money, showing off cars, showing off houses, having life and health insurances, having huge families so that we can gain respect in front of the society. Everything is unnatural. Everything is so unnatural, and unnatural things will put us through suffering. Nature did not make us to put us through suffering. It didn't. It made us to exist in peace. At least human beings are not the ones that will go through suffering. And many of you might say that if I start living in peace, the society might disturb me. Of course they can, but it doesn't make life in general a suffering. Your suffering comes from the society. If you accept it on your own terms, or if you let the society dictate your life, it will come. Expectations leads to disappointment, disappointment leads to struggling and suffering. If we leave expectations, society can't do shit with us. Society can't put us through suffering. It's much deeper than that what I'm talking right now, but I would leave this up to you to think and question and leave your opinions down in the comment section below. I'll see you again. Bye.